Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch The Muppet Christmas Carol 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And joining us today, we have one of our most frequent guests, one of our favorite guests, probably Ryan's favorite, if I had to guess.
I would say probably my favorite guest.
That's good. That's healthy. Who is it, though?
Hi, it's Staci Rosen.
Staci Rosen, erstwhile Muppet Moving Right Along theme song writer. What a thrill.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you were able to join us.
Yes, I'm glad we got you in.
Thank you for having me.
For a little while, it seemed like it might not happen. And
well, Staci has been very busy performing and directing numbers in a show choir and also directing and performing in a cabaret of her own original songs. So she's had a reason for not being here yet.
Those are things that happened.
Yeah.
No,
I also had an organ removed.
That's true, too.
Do people want to hear about that?
Well, they just heard about it.
To discuss it. I think we're going to discuss it in detail. No,
Anyway.
But what we are going to discuss in detail is minutes 83 and 84 of The Muppet Christmas Carol. In these minutes, Scrooge invites himself over to his employee's house, but it isn't as awkward as you might expect. So we start where we left off with Piggy saying "J" at the end of "I have had my fill of you, Mr. Screw," which we heard her say last time. Yeah. So this time she finishes that sentence with simply "J." Now we know that that's what she was calling him by his actual last name.
I should have guessed that.
Before. And then Scrooge continues yelling, "And therefore, Bob Cratchit," Piggy says, "and therefore you can leave this house at once." And this is really fun Piggy stuff.
Oh, yeah. This is good stuff for Piggy.
It's like the most Piggy thing she gets to do in this movie, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I guess some of the stuff with the two daughters.
The first scene, she was funny. She got to be like Piggy. And then the second scene, everybody was just sad. And then now she has one more opportunity to be Piggy.
Yeah. Very briefly. She doesn't get a ton, but she makes the most of it here, I think.
Yeah.
So then we continue with Piggy being funny. Scrooge says, "And therefore I am about to raise your salary." And he says this with the same cadence and intensity that he says on the unemployment line.
Right. That's very funny too. He says, "I'm going to raise your salary" in a very angry way. It's very convincing.
Right. And I don't think this is worth a whole Old Curiosity Shop segment, so I'm just going to say it right now. Mm-hmm. That line, "Therefore I am about to raise your salary," is from the book.
Okay.
That's exactly how he reveals his change of heart to Bob in the book. But what does not happen, because Emily Cratchit or Mrs. Cratchit is not there, she does not yell, "Ooh, and I am about to raise you right off the pavement and onto the..."
I like how she moves Kermit. She pushes Kermit against the door jamb.
Yeah.
She injures him so she can be the one to throw the first punch at Scrooge.
Yeah. Like, that's what I mean. It's good Piggy material.
Yeah,
it's
get out of the way.
In character, yeah. But I do want to point out that she says, "I'm about to raise you right off the pavement and onto the..." And then she stops, realizes that he said he's going to do a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of like our frequent end of episode gag where we act like we don't know what they're going to say. But we don't actually know what Piggy is going to say. We never find out.
Oh, yeah.
Right off the pavement and onto the what?
Off the...
What was she going
to say? How would she finish that? Off the pavement and onto the roof? Like, she's going to punch him and he's going to go flying and...
Punch him so hard, like when Superman throws nicotine into the sky in that anti-smoking commercial from the 80s.
Yeah, that's a reference everybody knows.
They should. We can link to it. We should.
We will. It's a really well-animated commercial.
Yeah, it was Richard Williams.
Richard Williams
animated that thing.
Famously the animation director of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, maybe, or off the pavement and straight to the moon. I don't know. Yeah, something where she's going to hit him really hard and he's going to go flying, I think.
Yep. But then Bob Cratchit and Emily Cratchit. I keep saying Bob Cratchit and Piggy. Bob Cratchit and Emily Cratchit. We've been doing that all season.
That's the whole movie, yeah.
I actually gotta say, can I just use their Muppet names because I don't know anybody?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, we've truly been going back and forth all season. Like what I just did, where I was about to say Bob Cratchit and Piggy or Emily Cratchit and Kermit or whatever. We've kind of been doing that the whole time. So call them whatever you call them, Frank and Steve, if you want to. Like we're not picky. Anyways, they both say, whatever their names are. They both
Captain
say,
Smollett and Benjamin the Gun.
Captain Smollett and Benjamin the Gun. Yes. They both say, pardon? And Scrooge says, yes, Bob, raise your salary and pay your mortgage on this house. Which I wish my boss would pay my mortgage on my house.
Well, I know, seriously.
Yeah, and I wonder, what about the rats that he also employs? Is he going to pay all of their mortgages?
No, he just got them 3 buckets of coal.
Yeah, that's it.
We already know that. We saw the coal.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, I wonder what all the other employees are thinking.
But I was going to say, I don't think any of the rats are in these scenes at all. Are they? Like, we don't see them join the crew. We see penguins, but I don't think we see any rats.
I think there might be 1 or 2 rats that come into the house in a minute, but I don't think the whole staff is there.
Right, which is kind of strange. You kind of would think they would be.
Yeah.
So he offers this. Piggy does her like ha 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 thing, that like nervous laughter. I was wrong about something thing that Piggy does so often.
Yep.
And then she moves Bob back in front of her.
Like a human shield.
Yeah. Or a froggy shield.
Ah, yes.
Flippery shield boy.
Amphibian shield.
And amphibian shield. That's, I don't know, something about Agent Coulson. I don't know. Who cares? Anyways, then Bob says, please, sir, come inside. So Bob does, in fact, invite him into the house. Scrooge does not
I don't think I
his
caught
way
that.
into Bob Cratchit's house.
Okay.
He says, please, sir, come inside. So much
but
like a vampire.
Does he say, please, 60 other people come inside?
No, he does not.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't catch that either.
And that's the thing, yeah, because then Scrooge says, would you and your family care to join us for a little turkey dinner on this fine Christmas day? And then Scrooge, says, Merry Christmas. And then all those Muppets come in. Like, they decidedly were not invited.
Yeah, he doesn't wait for their answer. Would you and your family care to join us? What if they had said, oh, no, we don't want all these people. Too late.
No, we have already 4 children, and we just want to be with our family.
Yeah.
No, because who's coming in? Bunsen's coming in. Bean Bunny's coming in. J.P. Gross is coming in. Sprocket. The whole fam. The whole extent. It's a dang old Christmas at Fozzie's mom's house over here.
Yep.
The whole city, yeah, seemingly.
Yeah. But, like, to be fair, the Cratchits do all seem excited. They seem thrilled with this development.
Yeah, they seem
they're
ready to have a good time with everybody.
We don't see Bettina and Belinda, like, throw a fit.
No. That would have been funny, though.
Something.
I went back several times when Bunsen first comes in, and Kermit and Piggy are sort of just observing all these people rushing into their house. Bunsen holds out a plate that has some kind of food on it, and he says, try something, but I could not quite make out what he says. It sounded like try a prune, but it wasn't prunes on the plate, so I don't know what that is. But if anybody knows, please let me know.
Oh, it's in this clip? He says try
a
food item?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. I didn't notice it.
I should have watched it with the subtitles on. Maybe it'll be in there somewhere.
If he does say a prune, that could be a reference to the Muppet movie, where Bunsen makes a 4-foot tall prune.
Oh yeah, could be
with his Instagrow pills.
Right. Try a prune, but the effects are sadly temporary.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been good. We are going to hear sadly temporary again in 2 movies.
Yeah.
He says it in Muppets from Space.
It will come back.
Yeah, but in this one, so I think before we move on, is it okay if I open up the old curiosity shop right now to talk about the actual scene where Scrooge tells Bob Cratchit that he's nice?
Please do.
He says, hey, Bob Cratchit, I'm nice now. So yeah, in the actual novel, Scrooge does play this same basic trick on Bob Cratchit. He just does it at work. So as we mentioned last time, I think he's excitedly waiting the day after Christmas for Bob to show up. He makes sure he's there early so that if Bob comes in late, he'll be there to be stern at him.
Because he spent the day on Christmas at his nephew Fred's party.
Yes, he spent the day on Christmas at his nephew Fred's party.
Right.
Having fun playing the games with Topper and the Plump Sister.
Topper!
The whole gang. They played what's the game called again?
Simile or something that they actually play
No,
in the
not
book?
Simile. Simile's from the George C. Scott movie. It's the same one they play in this movie.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let's play. I don't remember. They can tell we're so close to
yes
the end
and
of
no.
the season. They're playing Yes and No. Correct.
Right.
They also played Blind Man's Bluff and some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell we're close to the end of the season. We're both just like, who cares? Christmas Carol.
What was that thing in that other episode that we did not that long ago? Oh, yeah.
Not that long ago. But so he does the whole thing. He gets after Bob for being late, and Bob says, I'm sorry, whatever. And then he does therefore I'm about to raise your salary. And what Dickens says after this is, Bob trembled and got a little nearer to the ruler. He had been clutching a ruler, right? He's going to hit him with it because he's afraid.
Wow.
Bob trembled and got a little nearer to the ruler. He had a momentary idea of knocking Scrooge down with it, holding him and calling to the people in the court for help and a straight waistcoat. A straight waistcoat meaning a straight jacket, but the wording in the book is a straight waistcoat.
Huh.
Which makes me wonder, did the term jacket exist in 1843? Because it very well might not have. Right?
Oh, wow. When was the word jacket invented?
Yeah.
That's going to go into the plus section of the description of this episode.
Let's see.
Comes from Old French. Middle English.
Middle English. So that predates 1843 then. But maybe,
yeah.
But maybe not in common usage in English.
Old French was jacquet.
Huh. That checks
Middle
out.
English.
Sure.
Awesome. But yeah, so anyways, he says he's a straight waistcoat, which I think is very funny.
Yeah.
The idea that Bob Cratchit is like, he's crazy. I better see if the men in the straight the men in the white coats can bring a straight waistcoat.
And I should be prepared to fight him with a ruler.
Yeah, be prepared to fight him with a ruler. But what happens then is they do talk about it, and Scrooge offers Bob a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop.
What?
Now, what is smoking bishop? Well,
it sounds like a type of marijuana that you might buy.
Oh.
It does, a bowl of smoking
Have
bishop.
You had smoking bishop?
I decidedly have not. But also, it's not that. As Michael Patrick Hearn helpfully notes in the annotated Christmas Carol, it is a drink made from pouring red wine upon ripe, bitter oranges. The liquor is heated or mulled with sugar and spice, chiefly cloves, star anise, and cinnamon. It can be served either hot or cold. So it's a mulled wine, it's basically wine infused with spices.
I don't think I would like that, but I can think of some people I know who probably would. You probably would like that, Anthony, right?
I don't really like red wine.
Oh, okay.
At all.
Yeah.
So actually, Roz and her mom drink this thing called Glühwein, which is like a very sweet dessert wine that you mull. Like you always cook it in a pan before you drink it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's horrible. And they both love it. And it's like an important Christmas tradition for them.
Yeah.
What does it taste like? Is it sweet?
It's very sweet, yeah.
It is.
But Roz also loves chai or any kind of like spiced tea drink.
Yeah.
And,
right.
Yeah. And so when I read this to her, she was like, "Oh, I want that."
Seems like she'll probably make it next year.
Maybe I'll make her a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop.
Yeah.
Next year.
So would you drink that, Staci?
No, but I would take that strain of marijuana.
Strain. That's the word I was looking for. I'm such a prudish never drug user that I could not even come up with the word strain of marijuana.
I too am a square. We've talked about this before, I think, which is sad. But when you say the word marijuana, what I hear when you, not just you, Ryan, although apt in your case, but when I hear the word marijuana in any context, I think of Simon the Chipmunk in Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue, explaining to his brothers what marijuana is when they first see it.
Oh.
He's like, also known as marijuana.
Wait, Simon is the one who knows?
Yeah, because he's the nerd. He's the knowledgeable one.
He's researched it. I don't know. I feel like Alvin...
right, you're saying like Alvin should know, right?
Alvin probably knows about it. He's just playing dumb. I haven't watched Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue in a while, but...
Yeah. Once again, reminder that Ashman and Menken wrote a song for that special.
1,000 Ways to Say No, or what is it called? Wonderful Ways to Say No.
The song is called Wonderful Ways to Say No. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it is admittedly not their best work, but still, like.
Wait, which movies were they in between when that was written?
This came out in 1990, so Little Mermaid had come out, and they were working on Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's like there's such a small window of time before Howard Ashman dies, right?
Yeah.
When they're successful, but he's still able to work. So any unfamiliar Ashman and Menken song is truly a gift, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it does
truly,
feel like
as far as I'm concerned.
Like a bonus track of his career.
Yeah. Anyways, go watch Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue, I guess. Baby Kermit and Piggy and Gonzo are in it, so it's Muppet content.
Yeah, well, and some like Alf, Slimer, Daffy Duck.
Ooh, wait! Yeah. I'm gonna leave this podcast right now and go watch that.
Yeah. Michelangelo is in it. George C. Scott, Ebenezer Scrooge himself, George C. Scott,
right?
The bad guy. Yeah.
It
features both Ebenezer Scrooge and Bob Cratchit because Kermit is in it.
And
George C. Scott.
Nice.
All right. But so anyways, back to the actual movie. Now, as we go back outside, and Gonzo says, and Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And Rizzo nervously says, and Tiny Tim, which and then Gonzo of course says, Tiny Tim, who did not die.
Well, he gives it a little like that. He gives it enough ambiguity at first to be a fake out. He kind of like puts his head down it. And Tiny Tim, who did not die, like he has us going for just a second.
It's so good. And then Rizzo says what I believe is a favorite line of yours from the Muppets, right?
Isn't that swell?
Yeah, I feel like you say that all the time. Isn't that swell?
I wonder if I even
maybe he doesn't know he's quoting that.
Yeah, maybe it comes from something else.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, pork chops and applesauce isn't that swell from the Brady Bunch, right?
Yeah, true.
Pork chops and applesauce isn't that swell? That's probably where I got it.
Peter Brady.
But yeah, no, I like that Peter Brady and Rizzo have that in common.
Have the same, yeah, that's true. But so this is almost word for word the ending narration from the book. This third to last paragraph of the book starts out, Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. So all Jewel does is drop off the whole any other good old city thing. But he also changes knew to had. In the book, it's as the good old city knew, and Gonzo says as the good old city had. So I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah.
It works.
But and the other note about Tiny Tim who did not die from the book is it was not in the original manuscript that Dickens submitted. It just wasn't there. Like when he submitted the manuscript to the publisher.
Update, you mean?
There was no update.
Okay.
It was just that Scrooge was better than his word and all that. And then he realized kind of at the last minute that he should pay off. Like, is that crutch still without its owner? You know? And so he added it in.
Yeah.
And it's there. It was there when the book was first published, but it was like one of the last changes he made.
He would have had so many people writing to him like, what about Tiny Tim? You got to tell us.
Right. Exactly. So then what happens in the movie is that Scrooge starts singing The Love We've Found, a reprise of When Love Is Gone. And
at some point they've cooked the turkey because we go from a shot with Bean Bunny just carrying the turkey straight from the butcher shop to Gonzo and Rizzo outside, and then it cuts back inside the house, and it's a beautifully cooked turkey. So I don't know how long it took them, but it's or maybe we're just cutting to later in the day.
You think they were all just hanging around watching the turkey cook for
I guess. I mean, they weren't able to watch the football game on TV, so they just had to hang around.
Once the song starts, is there any more narration, or it stops at that point?
At the very end, we hear Gonzo and Rizzo say, "Hey, see you later, haha." But
okay, well then I want to rewind us a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I was
please.
Especially since you have the original text, I thought one line was really weird. I write down the beginning of the sentence, but Gonzo says, "May that truly be said of us and all of us." And I'm just
No, you're right.
By that distinction of us and all of us.
So that is in the book. What Gonzo says here is, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that truly be said of us and all of us. And so as Tiny Tim observed, and then Tiny Tim says, "God blesses everyone." So yeah, that is after the song.
That turn of phrase. Like, why is it of us and all of us?
I think that Dickens. So that whole thing is right out of the book, by the way.
Okay.
Like word for word, not altered. The only difference is that he gives Scrooge the "God bless us everyone," which is just Tiny Tim in the book.
Right. Okay.
But I think he's saying, like, may that truly be said of us, meaning you and me, dear reader, you the narrator, and you the reader, and all of us, right?
Everyone on the planet.
So I think us is like between you and me, us, you know.
I get it. That makes sense.
Because he often addresses the reader like a friend, you know,
right? Sure.
In the book, which is, as we talked about, I can't remember what was that article we talked about, Ryan, through a glass darkly or something. What was that website called?
Oh boy, dark room, bright something, bright light,
dark room, bright wall,
bright wall,
bright wall, dark room,
bright wall, dark room.
As they discuss in that article that we spoke of recently, Gonzo is kind of playing the narrator from A Christmas Carol, because the narrator does do a bunch of like humorous asides in the book, you know, and
right. He's not just Charles Dickens. He's this sort of persona that Dickens takes on.
Yeah. But yeah, so then, as I said, Tiny Tim says, "God bless us," and then Scrooge kind of like cuts him off and says, "God bless us, everyone."
No, this is my catchphrase now.
Right, I'm taking it from you. But I guess it's Jerry Joel showing us that he has changed. I think that's probably the idea. Like, it's like one last demonstration that he's turned over a new leaf.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like the ending. Like, this scene, I find a little cringy, and I don't mean because it's like schmaltzy or like loving or warm. I find, I don't know if this is just Michael Caine's like portrayal, but he's very self-congratulatory in this scene. Like, he's doing something good, yes, but he's very much about I feel like the showmanship of it in that moment. And I feel like the right thing to do would have been, yes, give this guy a raise, pay for his family meal, like, make your wrongs right. But then let the family come to you. Like, the inserting himself in like that, like, you know, he was really crappy this entire story. And I feel like he's almost deciding for them, like, you forgive me. Let's be friends.
Yeah. How can they not forgive him in front of the entire city?
Yeah, I just would have rather seen him, like, quietly pay off the mortgage, quietly send a meal, like, make things right, give people a chance to process. And I know that this is a family movie, and like, obviously we have to like get to the ending, but since it is so true to the source material, I'm just surprised that, like, it just feels a little rushed to me. And I feel like I don't know, I feel like he needed to maybe have a moment where he wasn't sure if he was going to be forgiven. After all of that, I think he needed to have a scene where he really wondered, like, is he going to invite me over? Like, am I forgiven? Did this fix all of my past wrongs? And it's dissatisfying to me that that's not what he has to experience. It's just an automatic forgiveness.
So, like, as we've discussed, and as I've kind of alluded to earlier in this episode, even, that is much like what you're hoping for is what happens in the book. He sends Bob a turkey. He does not go over to Bob's house. He goes to his nephew's house where he was invited in the book's opening. He does not set foot in Bob's house in real life at all, and sees Bob at work sees him at work the next morning, and tells him, like, I know I've been a terrible boss. I bought you another scuttle of coal, and I'm going to raise your salary. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I like
not
that better.
that Dickens, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, although then you don't get like a room full of 100 Muppets, which is what they know we
No,
want
and
to see.
I still think that ending is possible in that situation. I just thought it was a little too rushed and tied up too quickly. I just really think he needed to have at least one. It didn't even have to be a scene. It could have been him standing in the doorway. He gave him all those things and then says, "Can I come in?" And maybe there's just a second of Kermit looking at Piggy and then looking back into the house, and then just being a couple seconds where he realizes, I might not get forgiven. Like, I didn't do this to be forgiven. I did this to help this man, and being forgiven and included would be like the cherry on the cake, or whatever the phrase is. Like, but like just even just a second of hesitation. I don't know. Yeah, I agree that they need to get to this scene for the sake of ending it. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like after that whole journey we've seen him go through, he, deserves to have a moment of not knowing if it was too little too late, or if it really was going to make a difference for his relationships with everyone.
Yeah, I would.
Sure.
I'm completely on board.
I think that's great.
Your rewrite.
Yeah. No, thank you. That was great. I love anytime that a guest is like that excited to talk about a thought, whether it's positive or negative. Like, great. I'm all for it. So thank you. And so anyways, we didn't really talk about this song yet. The Love We Found. It's kind of, my opinion is that it's kind of nothing. Like, it's not long enough to make any kind of impact. I don't know. What do you two think?
Oh, I barely even think of it as a song.
Well, can you remind me, I'm sure you've spoken about this on many episodes, remind me of the evolution of the song and its inclusion in various, not adaptations, but re-releases of it. It was not in the theatrical?
Right. And then it was on the VHS. It was on the full screen DVD that came out first. And then it wasn't on the widescreen DVD that came out in 2005. Like, that was the first time it wasn't.
I wish I could remember I did see it in the theater when it came out. I imagine that song felt really out of nowhere when it wasn't a reprise to something
right, because
earlier.
this is in every version. This, when he sings "The Love Is Found,"
right?
But, yeah, it's a callback to something that didn't exist when you saw it in the theater.
But as a reprise, I think it's solid. If you did get to hear that song, you'll immediately recognize the melody. You'll recognize how they've changed the lyrics, and how I think it ties it up probably nicer when you did get a chance to hear that song.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. I want to talk about the lobsters. Is it too soon for that?
Well, I think, that we get to that in a minute.
It is this one.
There are just so many Muppets though in this sequence.
So I'll just set it up. As the camera pulls back, we see like every Muppet in London at the table, along with a few humans. Fred is there, but not Clara, which feels weird.
Right. In the DVD commentary, Brian Henson says that I forget her name, the actor who played
Robin Weaver.
Yes, Robin Weaver, the actor who played Fred's wife, Clara, was just not available that day. It was not an oversight, or it's not meant to suggest that Scrooge didn't invite her or the Cratchits didn't want her there. She just couldn't make it. To the shoot that day.
But yeah, then the long pan continues, and we see even more Muppets outside the house, and they're all singing. So it's just Muppets, and Staci has some thoughts about the lobsters.
Okay, you're gonna have to remind me. Do we see those lobsters earlier in the movie? I assume we do.
I think that they join the caravan during A Thankful Heart. Like, they're in the shop with Sprocket, right?
I don't know that we saw them before that, though.
No? Yeah, not before that, right.
Pet lobsters? Or are they about to be somebody's Christmas dinner? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Who are these lobsters in London? And
yeah, right.
They seem really happy.
Oh, they are, yeah.
About love being found.
It's one of the things we love is in these big Muppet group scenes when there are just all these different all these different character groups. Like the frogs are there, and there's penguins and raccoons, and the babies are there. And then
I
here's
hate those babies.
I love them. And then here are these lobsters. So,
Roz hates them too. Roz really
I know
hates
she
them,
does.
so.
I bring it up every year.
That rules.
Have we seen the lobsters before, though? Were they used in other productions?
Yeah, they're the lobsters from the Muppet Show, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, they're not the lobster banditos, though, are they? Who attack the Swedish chef? But
you don't think those are the same puppets, just without hats on?
They might be slightly redesigned from those, yeah.
I don't know.
Huh.
But I do have a question though. You said earlier, Staci, you said why are these lobsters in London? Is part of your problem with this that London is not a coastal city and would not?
No, London's definitely
coastal.
No, they're definitely coastal. I just was trying.
No, London is not.
Oh, London itself is not right. England is an island.
Yeah.
I just try to figure out the role that they play in this community.
Sure. Love it.
What do lobsters do? Yeah, what is their job in Muppet London?
So listeners, if you have any theories about what the lobsters are doing in London 1843 Christmas time, let us know.
Yeah.
We would love to hear your thoughts.
Please.
They're in an apartment window, so it's like wandering the streets. They either are renting that apartment or, like I said, they might be dinner. Someone's just having a late Christmas dinner and they haven't been cooked yet.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope someone's about to eat those lobsters. Yeah. There you go. But yeah, and we do see Sprocket singing here. We talked about this earlier, but it weirds me out so much that Sprocket is just singing like he's a person who can speak.
Yeah, is he singing the English words of the song, or is he just going like roar, roar, roar?
Yeah, because we don't hear him say anything clearly. He's not like even at the beginning when we pan past him, he doesn't have a line. A lot of Muppets do.
Yeah,
it would be good if he did, because it would be even weirder. But he is wearing clothes. It's also strange.
And he's walking around on two legs, so.
The only time I want to see Sprocket in clothes is when he and Doc are dressed as each other for a masquerade party.
Yeah. Well, in Dog City, too, I think he's makes an appearance.
He gets thrown out of the bar.
Right, yeah, wearing clothing.
Yeah, he's wearing like a pinstripe suit, if I remember right, in Dog City.
All right, well, okay, so Sprocket is a very versatile dog.
He is. He's great. I love that guy.
Yeah.
So anyways, the very last thing in this clip is that we pan past Gonzo and Rizzo, and Rizzo just says, "Hey, see you later." And later, see you later. And Gonzo just laughs. He goes, "Ha ha!" And they will have another line in the next clip, but that's where we leave them, which is Gonzo laughing, which is a kind of a nice spot to end this clip. But before we go, any other thoughts about these 2 minutes? Staci, I'll start with you.
No, I think we covered it.
Picked them dry, just like a Christmas turkey. And Ryan?
Christmas lobster.
Yeah, just a couple of
things.
Like
a Christmas lobster.
Just a couple of things about the characters who are present and where they are inside the house when they're all gathered around the dinner table. Scrooge gets the head of the table. I guess, okay, whatever. Everybody's happy. They're celebrating that he's redeemed. The
founder of the feast, indeed.
He is the founder of the feast today, yeah. Most of the other Muppets don't seem to be seated in chairs. Like, they all just have to kind of stand up and crowd around the table. Right next to Scrooge is Bob and Emily Cratchit and Tiny Tim. And then on the other side, there's Bunsen and Beaker and Bean. But then, for some reason, there's this whatnot lady who is sitting closer to the turkey and closer to the rest of the family than Belinda and Bettina and Peter. So it's like, who is this lady? Where did she come from? And why, Belinda and Bettina tried to take their seats, and she was like, "Oh, here, I'm just gonna come in here, girls."
Maybe that's Bob Cratchit's mom. You don't know.
Could be. I guess, yeah, we have no idea what Bob Cratchit's mom might look like. And then when the camera is moving out of the room, we see there's so many more. Like you mentioned, there are humans there. Notable that, is it Mr. Applewhite, the guy from the beginning of the movie? Is that his name?
Yeah, Applegate. Applegate, I think.
Applegate. He's there. So, obviously he and Scrooge are going to be on better terms from now on, which is nice. Maybe Scrooge will help pay for his daughter's medical bills. And then old Joe is there. The big, creepy spider guy who, in the possible version of the future, was going to be like buying and selling Scrooge's material possessions when he died. So, it's probably still will. Well, yeah, it's just so weird to see him there because he's not a good dude. He's just this creepy guy who's taking advantage of the situation when people
maybe
die,
he's scheming. He might still be.
He might just be there,
plotting.
Thinking like, okay, how can I pick some of these people's pockets before I leave here?
Is he in the house, or is he one of the people that's outside just looking?
He's in the house, which again is kind of surprising because he's a very large puppet.
Huh? Yeah, I don't know. Interesting though.
Yeah. Like I said, just fun to see penguins, raccoons, babies. George the janitor is standing outside the house. And a porcupine. So I just always love looking at the crowd shots and picking out different Muppets. That
must have hurt other members of the crowd when the porcupine forced its way into the house.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's standing right outside, but it means it means that the other Muppets can't get any closer to the house because if they try to push up against the porcupine, they'll get hurt.
Yeah. Right. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that just about brings us down to the end of this one. Listeners, thank you for listening. You can always check out toughpigs.com on the internet. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're tweeting about stuff and Facebooking about stuff all the time. You could become a patron of ours on Patreon. We're always thrilled when we get new patrons. You can email us with any questions, comments, or Christmas lobster recipes at movingrightalong@toughpigs.com. You can follow Ryan on Twitter at @MeRyanRowe and on Letterboxd at @MoviesAreNeat. You can follow me on Letterboxd at ZeppoMarxist. And Staci, where can our listeners find you and or your work on the line?
You can just Google me, which I just did in anticipation of this, and let's see. Some of these people are me, some of them aren't me, and you can just try to pick and choose and construct which me you want me to be.
Whoa!
Yes, that is. What an exciting treasure hunt!
It's a challenge.
Did I go to this Detroit Festival of Rights in 2017? I don't know. Was that me or a different Staci Rosen? Was I a wedding guest from some Sesame Street thing? Probably. That was probably me. Yeah.
There is two. I think I'll clear up these two because people might be confused. S. Rosen's Bakery. That's not you.
Nope, not me.
And 1960s era Marvel Comics letterer S. Rosen, also not you.
Not me.
I sure was hoping that's what you were about to say.
I knew that one was mostly for you, Ryan.
Thank you.
I am not the wife of somebody who passed away, who was born in 1926 and passed away in 2022. I am not their wife.
That's good.
Wow.
Okay.
There are so many not me's online, but maybe you'll find someone really cool with the same name.
Maybe we'll have them on this podcast as a guest next season.
Ooh.
Talk about Muppet Treasure Island. Yeah.
Great idea.
And so thank you so much for being here, Staci, as always.
Thanks for having me.
Always a delight. Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you to Morgan Davy for designing our logo. And thank you to you, dear listener, for giving us a positive review, that 5-star review that you've always meant to give us and are going to do today. And thank you as well for telling everyone you've ever met, all of the 60 guests at your Christmas feast. Tell them all to join us next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye.
Bye. I forgot to mention the ink spots are also there.